Hey, this is Artie Astor from the YouTube podcast, I guess you can call it, B Sharp and C. And I'm continuing to go through my comments and compile a list of requests. Yesterday I did Mission Souls because a lot of people were asking me to do Mission Souls. I'm like, okay, I'll do Mission Souls. I actually prefer to do really, really, really extreme, obscure bands and artists that I know very few people have heard of. The problem with that is that the YouTube algorithm doesn't trigger a lot of people. So I find this artist that's like super obscure out of Iceland, and I react to a song, and then it'll get like 30 views or something. Now, I enjoy doing that actually more because to me it's like the thrill of the hunt, going out there and looking for a band that maybe no one's really heard of and that I can introduce to others. But I also feel like I do that to a degree with bands like Mission Souls, Love Bites, the Wagaki Band, and other artists that aren't necessarily mainstream, especially here in the United States. I enjoy doing those videos too to bring those to light because every time I do a video about those bands, it actually helps my viewership, but it also helps that band's viewership. So it's somewhat of like a give and take. It's somewhat of a symbiotic relationship. Especially if your channel has monetization. A lot of bands that do covers, YouTube allows revenue sharing. So the YouTuber who's doing the reaction gets a split of the revenue, and the artist who does the cover gets a split of the revenue. So it really becomes a symbiotic relationship. And that's one of the reasons why, and I'm going to say this, and maybe other YouTubers are going to say, like, why is he saying this? But, that's one of the reasons why you have a lot of people doing reactions to certain artists from the Philippines because Filipinos spend more time than anybody else on the internet. There have been studies done, and they react more and they engage more, and they are more interested in what's going on online. So if you react to a band from the Philippines, you will probably get thousands of views. And if your channel is monetized, you'll get more money. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going to do another, reaction video of Mission Souls because I want that $20 instead of $2 a day. I'm going to get $20 today, or $40 depending upon how many views you get, right?" But I don't want to do that. I have a day job. I have income from my actual job. So I don't want my YouTube channel to be, you know, um, centered around what's going to get me more money. I just don't want to do that. But at the same time, a lot of people have subscribed to my channel. And a lot of those people who are new subscribers and who have been with me for now over a year, they request certain things. So I do want to listen to the requests as well, but I just want to get that out there. I really do take the most enjoyment in doing a lot of research and finding that hidden gem band, at least in my opinion, and then reacting to that. One of those bands, believe it or not, is Love Bites. Now, Love Bites has a huge following in the United States and especially overseas. They're absolutely gigantic. But with my fellow American friends that I talk to, when I ask them if they know Love Bites, almost no one. I think in the past year, one person was like, "Love Bites? Yes, Miyako's my favorite." Like seriously, out of all the, and I'm constantly talking about music to the point where my friends get annoyed. But so I'm gonna go ahead and react to this song here by Love Bites because in the comment section there were a lot of requests for Love Bites. This is 2020, so it's with I think Miho was the original bassist in 2020. It's the song Holy War. I'm gonna go ahead and react to that one, and I'm dying to hear this because first of all, I haven't heard a lot of Love Bites in a while because I've been focusing on different bands. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. There'll be like something popping up in the corner over here with my new single on it that I just released It's called My Own Name. So when the video's over, if you want to take a listen to my new single, that'll be great too. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and listen to Love Bites Holy War.
Everybody raise your
Wow. Wow. So there's a lot here to unpack. I actually really so one the first thing I always notice whenever I watch Love Bites, it makes me wonder about 80s hair metal. Because I remember the 80s and I remember hair metal in the 80s, and every person on the stage looked like they were going into a fit. They were shaking, their head was banging, there was running around the stage, and there was so much movement going on. And I these women they make the same music, but they look stationary. They're just like and to be that cool, calm, and collected, but create that type of pulsating sound, to me is just it's a dichotomy that's very, very, very interesting to me. I love it. And I recently sent a Love Bites video to a friend of mine, and I was like, because he was asking me what I'm into lately, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of into everything. I'm reacting to a lot of music, but I listen to a lot of different types of music too throughout the day. And even when I'm actually doing my day job, there's always music on in the background. I'm always listening to something. But I mentioned Love Bites, and I sent him a video. I sent him a link, and he listened to it, and he said something interesting. He said, "I don't like the singer. I don't like the vocals." And I tried to take it from his point of view, and he said her voice just doesn't fit. And then I thought about something. To a degree, I understand what he's saying. Asami's voice is not reminiscent of 80s hair metal. So if 80s American and British hair metal is what you equate with heavy metal, then Asami's vocals are not going to sound like that because they don't. And maybe people are probably going to kill me in the comments for saying this. And if you disagree, you disagree. Asami's voice is the one thing in this band that I hear that actually sounds Japanese. I can hear that it's a Japanese band because there's something about her voice. I can hear her culture in her voice, and I actually think that's awesome. To me, when I'm listening to it, I know I'm listening to something different. And I like that. And I don't think it's bad. I think it's operatic. You have metal that doesn't sound operatic, and then you have metal that sounds operatic. And kind of like Iron Maiden, like, I think Bruce Dickinson had a very operatic approach. You know, I like her voice. I think it is different, but that's what I like about it. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but I just figured I'd say that, because I always introduce whenever I'm into a band, I always introduce the band to people to see what they would say. And yeah, he said the vocals don't fit, and I'm like, let me try to understand what you're saying. But I think she sounds really good here too. By the way, I think she sounds better in this song than I've heard her in other songs. Woo! They make it look so easy. Oh, I like this change. This is nice. I think a solo's coming. Man, how does she do that? How? Such good engineering. Midori always surprises me. Right there. So she does this finger tapping, which is just amazing. She's all over the place. And then after the finger tapping, she comes right back in and does a rake into the next note. It's just so much concentration and so much practice. To her, it's second nature. But for me to be able to just do all that, listen to this. Right here. And then she rakes into that note. I don't know. To me, I play guitar. I try to put guitar solos on all my music. I don't do anything even remotely close to this, but I can prepare a whole full 10 seconds for a rake, and then still screw it up. Midori, I don't know what it is that she does. It is such second nature to her. She probably doesn't even realize she's doing it. And I love this double track stuff. But, double tracked is more of a production term, but you know what I mean. The dueling guitar. I love it. One in each ear. Listen to that melody. It sounds like Phantom of the Opera. Ready? That sounds like Phantom of the Opera. Nice. Woo. That's good. That's good. Man, I thought Asami was on fire in that song, you know? One thing that I don't know personally is what you go through as a vocalist when you tour. All I've read is that it's very, very, very organic, very fluid, and it's up and down. And there are always nights when you can't reach certain notes, when you can't do certain things, but you can't just keep canceling shows because your voice is tired, right? So, and I've listened to interview after interview after interview with vocalists, and they all go through it. You unequivocally, at some point, many times in a tour, will go out to perform, and before the show even starts that there are certain notes you aren't going to be able to hit, that there are certain things you aren't going to be able to do because your vocals are just tired. Asami was on fire right there. To me, she was just completely on fire. Um, I love the guitar work. I've always liked the guitar work, and even though Miyako's my favorite, and I say Miyaku instead of Miyako, it's because I used to live in Brazil, and the O at the end of a word is more of an U sound. It's not amigo, it's amigo. So that's why I sometimes say Miyaku, because I'm thinking in Brazilian Portuguese, even though this is Japanese and it has nothing to do with it. Although there are a lot of Japanese people in Brazil, a huge amount. Anyways, I digress. Even though Miyako's my favorite because she just plays a killer piano. And I love how no matter what she's doing, whether it's piano or guitar, she always looks the same. She can create like just a monstrous sound with that guitar, and she just has the same like stoic look on her face, which to me I just think is great, you know. Um, but yeah. Anyways, I think that was a fantastic performance. I'm really interested. So this is 2020, so that was with Miho, the original bassist, and I did a little bit of research this morning. And, why did Miho leave Love Bites? And it said because she wanted to focus on her personal career. What is Miho from Love Bites doing now? Miho, the former bassist and founding member of Love Bites, is currently active as the bassist, composer, and lyricist for the all-female post-melodic new metal band Zilke. She announced her new band and projects in late 2025 with plans for the first EP. Oh, here's Reddit. Why did Miho leave Love Bites? When did Miho leave Love Bites? Miho, the founding bassist and leader of Love Bites, officially left the band on August 17th, 2021. So that was from that video we watched. Let me go back. This video, Holy War, is from 2020, July of 2020. So Miho left the band a year after this. You know, I don't know if anyone has ever watched Parks and Rec. You know the show Parks and Recreation. There was an actor, I forget his name, and I'm too lazy to look it up. He was in the first season of Parks and Recreation. And he was like, I need to focus on my personal career. I don't want to be stuck on the show, la di da di da. And it ended up being a devastatingly bad decision on his part if his decision was business related. He left Parks and Rec. He's done nothing significant since then. Mark Brandanowitz was the character's name in the show Parks and Recreation. Um, he has done nothing significant since then. And the people who stayed on Parks and Rec all had careers afterwards. Like it really launched their career, like Aubrey Plaza, Chris Pratt. So chances are, if he had stayed, it would have really launched his career. I don't know. You know, he says he left because he wanted to focus on his career, his personal career, but I really don't know if what happened behind the scenes. You know, I do know that there was a little bit of friction between him and the writers, and his role was turning into something he didn't like. So I honestly don't know. But some people leave a band and they say, I want to focus on my own personal career. I want to write the music. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they want to focus on their own personal career. And then they leave a band and then they really don't get something else started. It looks like Miho got something started in late 2025. So just recently. So maybe what I can do is maybe react to one of her band's new songs if they have anything released yet. I have done no research. The research I did basically was just now. You saw me do it. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And don't forget to listen to my new song, My Own Name. Anyways, this is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. Take it easy.